I'm Pastor Joshua Sands, your internet pastor, mentor, and coach for the next chapter in your life. I want to talk to you today about your perspective. Many times we look into the past, our experiences of pain and sickness and death and separation and anxiety, or we look into the present sometimes. We look at the current threats, the deaths that's taking place. We look at the loss of loved ones. And then sometimes there are people who look only at the future. They look at what's coming. And of course, that's what I want to talk to you about today. In the last century, one of the great social theories was that there is thesis, antithesis, and a new synthesis. All that simply means is that to every statement there will come something that will come against it, that will challenge it, and it will result in a new reality. In the biblical story, we have the example of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. It was their thesis. It was their paradise. It was a place where everything they wanted was at their fingertips. They were in control. Work was easy. And there was no stress. And there was no enemy. There was no evil as far as they knew. But then the antithesis comes in chapter 3, where the serpent, who we are told was more subtle than any beast of the field that the Lord God had made. Notice that he is a created being, but he had the authority to choose evil. And so the serpent, Lucifer, or the devil as he's called, presents to Eve and Adam an opportunity to learn more. And the temptation was really the tree of knowledge. And so what became a challenge to them was knowledge. Think about it. The antithesis then caused the fall of the human race according to the biblical narrative, and they ended up falling into sin and hence murder and family separation. Well, what results from that is in that very same chapter, God promises that the seed of the woman will bruise the serpent's head, but that the serpent would bruise the heel of the seed of the woman, meaning that Christ, who would come along as the seed of the woman, would die and would provide redemption for the fallen race. And so a new synthesis comes about. Thesis, antithesis, new synthesis. So the challenge in your life today is very, very similar. You know, we have childhood, we have adulthood, and then we have old age. And so one of the problems is that in childhood, we are very dependent. In adulthood or in teenage years, we learn to become very independent. We want to do our own thing. Finally, in adulthood and old age, we learn what it means to be interdependent. But I want to talk to those of you who have passed middle age now. I want to speak to those people who are now in their 50s and 60s and 70s, because now you're looking at how you're going to finish your life, how you're going to end it. I want to say to you that it's possible to have still, even now, a new synthesis. Even now, it's possible for you to create and design and experience a new life for yourself. You don't have to die because things aren't the way they were. Don't you hear that all the time? People are saying, I wonder when things will go back to the way they were. Well, you can't go back. And you certainly can't die in the present just because you feel like it or because someone else has died. But what you can do is make sure that your tomorrow, your future, is brilliant, that it's awesome, that it's everything it's meant to be. You are wiser now than you were before. You have more experience, and basically you have more knowledge now than you had before. And in today's world, we have more knowledge available to us than ever before. And so, my friend, today, make today an awesome day. Make your future great and bright. Decide today that you're going to be special, that you will end strong and finish the race strong, and that you will fight the good fight, finish your course, and keep the faith. And that you will experience the blessing of knowing that you decided what tomorrow would be like for yourself, for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren. And that you will leave a legacy that others can look back on and say, this person created a new synthesis. They created a new world for us. I'm so glad that they were here. Make that your decision today, my friend. Have a wonderful, blessed day.